I am visiting my parents' home right now, and I have stumbled across my Bible from like the fourth grade. So we're going to cancel our regularly scheduled Bible and religion rant and go into a personal history of me for some reason because this is funny.
And how do I know this is from the fourth grade? Because I wrote things like this in here. Where here you can see a list. I say pipe, tweezers, toy, bottle of something, and glue stick in the worst and most ugly cursive you've ever seen. And I know that this is from fourth grade because in third grade we were taught cursive, and I was convinced that for the rest of my adult life, I would have to write everything in cursive. So for the next year and a half, I wrote everything in cursive. And so doing some handwriting analysis, we can figure out this is the Bible I used from around fourth grade. How exciting. Apparently, tweezers and toy was wrong, and I missed 2 points. But what does this have to do with Proverbs 17? I have no idea. And like, what is this Bible? Like, it's this hyper masculine kids Bible, and it like has these weird sections where it's like, here's gross things. This is from Exodus, with the plague of the frogs and like the plague of flies, according to this translation. And it's just interesting that we're marketing this to kids and saying, how can we make the Bible gross and highlight the gross things and like be extra manly, and like what an interesting perspective to like push like onto the Bible for kids.
And throughout the Bible, I have note cards and underlines pointing out what I thought was important to me in fourth grade. And notably, I've got nothing in the prophetic literature, which is a substantial chunk of the Hebrew Bible. And even in this Christian Bible, it includes Daniel and Lamentations for some reason as well. But the one thing I found one thing that was underlined, and it was Jeremiah 32:7. And it reads, Hanamel, son of Shalom, your uncle, is going to come to you and say, buy my field at Ananoth, because as my nearest relative, it is your right and duty to buy it. Why was that important to me? Why was that so important that it's the only thing I have underlined in all of the prophetic literature? Like, what was I thinking? Why is that important? What was fourth grade Matthew thinking that thought, buying fields because of being a relative to someone was important? Why do I need to know this? I don't know. What was I doing? If you have any ideas why verse was important to me, let me know. I don't know what was going on in my head.
But on a little more serious note, I think it's important to think about how interpretations like this, how Bibles that present a very masculine view of being Christian, how does that change how people interpret the Bible? How do different Bible versions that present different ideals, how does that affect Christianity and how Christianity grows and changes? So I think understanding your biases and the biases that you receive are imperative to understanding any text, and especially one that you might consider to be as important as the Bible, or any cultural situation, how it affects your religion, your society. So, when you're consuming media, when you're consuming literature, whatever, I think it's always important to ask, what are the biases that I'm putting onto it, and what are the biases that it's trying to put onto me?